Okay, I can't do it anymore. Basically, it's our cheap way of not getting sued by WWE for using that Hall of Fame theme song.
Nice.
Hello and welcome to the DK and Bill Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast where one joke about a man's wife will not get you bitch slapped in the face. I'm Bill.
I'm DK. That was awesome last night. Oh my God. We're going to start with a non-wrestling thing. I'm like, I even sent a message to my group chat. There's a whole bunch of boys in there. And I'm like, man, Will Smith is ready for WrestleMania. Right?
So, okay.
I love it.
I texted this to one of my best friends about an hour ago, a little over an hour ago, because she asked me if I had seen it. So
you have. Everyone's seen it.
Well, but here's the thing. And I think I'm on the same boat with you when I say this. I did not see it when it first happened.
No.
This is okay because I honestly did not watch the Oscars until like the end because I just wanted to see who won Best Picture.
Sure.
So turn the TV on. There's Diddy, P. Diddy
Pop or whatever we're calling him now, right?
Right. And he says something about, we'll have to have like a family meeting at the gala or something. And I was like, okay, I didn't really get it.
Okay.
And then a few minutes later, Will Smith, spoiler alert, wins the Oscar for Best Actor. Although I don't think that's much of a spoiler alert at this point.
And you're not even going to remember him for winning best for the Oscar. You remember
right.
that thing, right?
And he's crying in the speech. So my thought is, oh, okay, it's just a genuine moment because there are people that do cry when they win these awards.
Sure.
And then I think Amy Schumer made some joke that I really didn't pay attention to. And, like I went to bed thinking, all right, nothing out of the ordinary happened.
Oh, so you didn't even know about it last night?
Well, I'm almost.
Okay.
Because I got up, like I woke up, like I was trying to get to sleep, couldn't get to sleep. So I go onto my phone, voila.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my news stations that I follow here mentions like, join us for coverage of the Oscars and what happened with Chris Rock and Will Smith. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So then I read it and I'm like, oh boy. And then I see the video and I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah, it was.
And I'm going to say this for the record. Twitter, which you guys can follow me at House of Bill. Cheap plug.
I follow you. So
yes, you do. There are so many people like within that time where like, this is staged. And then there are other people that are like, I've lost respect for Will Smith. I've lost respect for Chris Rock. And
sure.
and then someone put in the Japanese feed of when this happened.
Oh God, I gotta YouTube that.
And because they're, translating what the people are saying, and I'm not going to say it, not to be racist, but go look it up.
Okay.
And then I go on to Facebook and then it just explodes. And then there are like all these memes and jokes about, oh, Vince has a new match for WrestleMania now, and I'm just, and then I'm just like, okay, I'm done. And then it's like,
yeah,
I think the thing that irked me was how people are like, this was staged. I don't give two craps if it was staged or not. They got people talking. That's all that really matters, I think, to them.
I could almost see it being staged if they didn't have the part where he was like, when he went back and sat back down and he started cursing at him.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no way that I don't know which network the Oscars were on, but there's no way that they would allow that in that time window to have F-bombs on live TV, right?
Yeah.
So I'm surprised. Like, I know the Oscars, you don't have to really worry about this stuff normally, but that there wasn't some sort of delay on the feed. But I bet you there will be next year.
I mean, here in the US, there's, I think, about a 5 to 7 second delay
Okay.
for stuff that's live.
The video that I got, which was about 20 minutes after it happened live, was like they didn't censor what he was saying.
Oh, they censored it here. Oh God. Yeah.
I have the video. If like I could send you the video of him cursing up a storm on Chris Rock, which is funny. My one buddy, he made a reference to how Will Smith doesn't have to cuss to sell records, but he does have to win an Oscar. Maybe, I don't know.
And then my other question, or I guess not question, but more of a thought is, who wrote the joke? Did Chris Rock write the joke, or did someone else write the joke?
Now, based on I don't want to say research, because I didn't research this, but I did want to find out. And it sounds like Chris Rock made it up on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think they did. I don't know if they had any kind of talks that, we're gonna talk about Will Smith, and then maybe I'll say something about Jada. Now, right. I think if Will was actually this upset about a potential joke, then he wouldn't have cleared that. So you think that, like, that was the first thing I thought was Chris Rock's getting slapped because some guy wrote this joke for him. I know he's getting knocked down.
But here's the thing.
For it, so. But it sounds like it's Chris Rock that did it.
Here's the thing. When you watch the clip, when he makes the joke, at first, Will laughs.
He does.
Laughs at the joke.
Yeah.
And then it's only 10, 15 seconds later where he comes up and smacks him.
There was a story about him. Now, this isn't like Entertainment Tonight. We'll get to the Hall of Fame.
No.
We'll get to the Hall of Fame, I promise you. But there was a story about in 2016, Chris Rock made a reference to Jada not being invited to the Oscars.
She boycotted, I think, was...
Yeah, it was something like that. And I think whatever Chris Rock had said at the 16 Oscars kind of like ruined their relationship a little bit, because they used to be buddies.
Right.
And I know Chris Rock was on The Fresh Prince as a guest star.
Mm-hmm.
So they know each other. They're obviously not friends anymore, but so that was kind of a crazy thing that happened last night.
Yeah.
But we got the Hall of Fame.
Got a Hall of Fame to talk about.
I got some takes on that. So
yep, but we got to talk about real quick, because we talked about it yesterday when we did our Wrestlemania show. The unfortunate announcement of Triple H retiring from professional wrestling. He did an interview which aired on Friday on Stephen A. Smith's show on ESPN Plus, which I don't really watch. And without going into much detail, the key things he said were that he now has a defibrillator in his chest, so there's no way he could ever wrestle again.
No.
And he thought about, his 3 kids, they're getting older. The oldest is 15, and then you got 13 and 11. And
wow.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how time flies.
Yeah, I guess, hey? Yeah. Triple H had a great career. Like, a lot of people don't like him based on how their view of how he got to the top.
Right.
I'm not one of those people. I don't know if he would have ended up where he was if like when he moved, or when he married Steph and got together with her and everything. But I'm not sure exactly how that would have went, but he's still a great professional wrestler. There's no doubt about that. The adversity he went through, especially with the curtain call and everything that went down there, transitioning from a blue blood to this, like whatever we're going to call the Triple H character.
And the torn quad.
Yeah, the torn quad multiple times. I think he tore both quads at not at the same time, but like, so I'm a fan of Triple H. It's too bad that we didn't get a retirement match.
Right.
Now, I'd have to go back and see when the last time he actually had a match was. Probably against, was that when he was with Shawn at that Crown Jewel?
No, he had a few after that.
Batista at WrestleMania? Was that the last one?
And then I think he had one more in Saudi Arabia.
Did he have one more? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember I was thinking about it, and the Batista match, if he lost, that was for his career. And then he won. So
right.
Like, it'd be interesting if that was his last match and it could have been his retirement. But yeah, he was like a once a year kind of guy, similar to Undertaker. So it's not like an everyday performer announcing his retirement. So
right.
It's still disappointing that we won't get to see him again in the wrestling ring. But he had a great career.
Oh, yeah.
He obviously made the right call for his family and himself. So,
I mean,
I'll be talking about him next year going in to the Hall of Fame.
Probably. I mean, he got to do. I mean, he main evented WrestleManias. He is the first heel to retain the WWE title in the main event of a WrestleMania, which you find very surprising because like you think back and it's like, oh my God, who did, you never really think about that.
Hulk Hogan won a lot of them, and he was a baby, and he always won from the heel. So,
and then the feuds that he had with Rock, Austin, Foley, Michaels, Benoit. I'm gonna say his name. I know. Even Undertaker. Those were really good matches. And
yeah, we talked about that in the top 10 WrestleMania show.
Yeah. I mean, we had him on, I think we might have had him on both lists, to be honest. But no, and the thing is, like, his last real great match, I think, was the one with Daniel Bryan at 30. And I mean, great match, because we both had it on our lists a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And no, he should be, commended for the career that he had. He is obviously one of the best to ever do this. And I think he has a lot of pride in what he did and the contributions that he made, especially with NXT for a long time.
Oh yeah.
So
he's a major reason why the younger talent kind of made it and how well they're doing. Like if you look at like the top guys in the WWE right now, a lot of them were like NXT alumni guys, right?
Yeah.
Like Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins and a few
others. So many
girls too, like Charlotte, Sasha,
Becky
and Bailey. Basically the whole women's roster right now, except for Ronda. Basically his creation and his idea.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So we are going to talk about the Hall of Fame today, but I want to do a little time travel. Be Doc Brown for a few minutes.
So I'm Marty? Okay.
Yeah, you could be Marty. That's fine.
I don't have my life preserver on.
I don't have white hair, so. So what we're going to do just for a few minutes, we're not going to take long, is we're going to go back in time to a couple of different Hall of Fame classes because some of them are reaching certain anniversaries. So 5 years ago was the class of 2017. This is a pretty good class. I'm looking at it. Kurt Angle is the big name for this one. Kurt Angle, Teddy Long, Diamond Dallas Page, Beth Phoenix, Ravishing Rick Rude, and the Rock and Roll Express.
That's pretty decent. That's
pretty,
decent.
yeah. Eric Legrand is the recipient of the Warrior Award. And this is the second year for the legacy wing of the WWE Hall of Fame. I'll mention their names. Martin Farmer Burns. Fun fact about him, he used to do tricks where he would hang himself with a noose and would live.
Oh, that's an interesting trick.
He had such a strong neck. I do not recommend anyone to try.
I can hang myself without dying.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
You're hired.
Also in that legacy wing, June Byers, Haystacks Calhoun, Judy Grable, Dr. Jerry Graham, Luther Lindsay, Toots Mont, Ricky Dozan, and Bearcat Wright. Now, to 10 years ago, the class of 2012. The headliner this year is Edge. Also inducted, Mil Mascaras, Ron Simmons, Yokozuna, the Four Horsemen, Ric Flair, Barry Windham, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, and J.J. Dillon. And in the celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame, Iron Mike Tyson.
For all his contributions to WWE.
Hey, even
in that
98 was
that 3-week period. Yeah.
And finally, 15 years ago. Okay, this one does not seem like 15 years ago. The class of 2007. Dusty Rhodes is the headliner. The rest of this class, Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, Jerry the King Lawler, Nick Bockwinkel, Mr. Fuji, the original Sheik, Jim Ross, and the Wild Samoans.
Yeah,
that doesn't seem like it was 15 years ago. Oh my God.
Jim Ross, like the Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross went in together.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Perfect is a secondary to Dusty Rhodes. Yeah, that's pretty good.
The one thing I remember the most about that ceremony was Wade Boggs inducted him in. And my first thought was, what is Wade Boggs doing here? And then he tells the story of how basically Kurt saved his life.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, that makes
why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So as of this recording, we might have the entire class, not really sure. If they add anybody else between now and Friday night, we'll talk about it on the next show.
Yeah, so it seems small, right? There's only 3 people plus the Warrior Award.
Well, we actually have a new inductee that was announced today.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about each individual, and we're going to do this in the order they were announced.
Okay.
So we'll start off with, well, obviously he's the main attraction for this year. No brainer, The Undertaker.
Yeah. This is probably one of the best Hall of Famers now. Mm-hmm. The greatest character in the history of WWE for sure. Probably wrestling. Yeah, like he's up there with Andre the Giant for I'm trying to think of the right word, but
big men,
like attractions.
Oh, attractions, yeah.
Like he's a guy that could come out, like he didn't need to be the champion.
Mm-hmm.
He could, and he was so amazing. Like that's what, like watch stuff from like the mid-90s, like stuff he was doing. walking the ropes at his size. Like, and I feel like he could have done more, but they held him back just because of the character he was playing. What's your opinion?
I agree with you. I think it is the best character that Vince and WWE ever made, hands down.
Yeah.
Probably the most loyal person Vince ever hired. Besides, but there's like maybe a couple exceptions, but as far as wrestlers go, he is the one.
I'd be curious to see what your exceptions would be, because I say he is the number one.
I mean, as far as wrestlers go, he's number one. Like the only other person I could think of is like Pat Patterson. That's really it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as far as wrestlers go, he was as loyal as can be to Vince. Yep. And, you know, because like we heard like WCW tried so many times and could never get him, you know.
It wouldn't have worked.
Like, no, it would have never worked.
He couldn't have been the Undertaker.
Mm-mm.
And if he had like a minor, like character similar with a different name, like it just wouldn't have worked. Yeah. So I'm glad that never happened.
I mean, the character is legendary. There are certain moments that people remember throughout, you know, even those that don't watch wrestling remember the Undertaker. Like I had a friend and we talked about this many years ago. The 94 Rumble. It's the first casket match with Yoko and Taker.
Yep.
Taker gets his butt beat by like a dozen people. And then, you know, that whole like promo in the casket scared the crap out of me at 8 years old. I could not get to sleep that night. Like that scared the crap out of me. No joke. But and then over the later years, like 2005 on, my God, some of the matches he had were incredible. Either it be Randy Orton, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Batista, Edge. He's getting quality matches from these guys, either at WrestleMania or at other events. Rey Mysterio, Brock, you know, he could bring the best out of you.
Yep.
And I think the best thing to have ever happened to him, maybe you've heard this story, maybe you haven't, is when he was in WCW. This is 1990. Yeah, 1990.
Yep.
Ole Anderson is the booker. Now, for those that don't know who Ole Anderson is, grumpy old man, just a grumpy old man. He meets with Undertaker. Well, Mark Calloway.
Mean Mark, wasn't he?
Mean Mark, yeah.
Mean Mark.
And Jim Cornette told this story of how Ole said to Mark, "You will never draw any money in this business."
Mm-hmm.
We have Ole Anderson to thank for giving us the Undertaker.
If you look at the WCW, like they had a lot of top stars. They just didn't know they had them yet.
Yep, exactly.
Like they had Scott Hall, they had Kevin Nash before they went back. Like they needed guys to make themselves and then come back. That's kind of how they use guys. But
I have a friend who does a good Ole Anderson impersonation. I'll have to see if I can ever get him on. He can do it for you. Be like,
that'd be good.
Yeah, I met Vince McMahon. I told him to fuck off. I met his wife. I told her to go fuck herself. That's seriously how he does it. It's hilarious. Okay. But I mean, yeah, Undertaker's like, now it's like you couldn't have it without him, really.
One thing I'd like to say about the Undertaker is he was in so many different eras.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was in the golden era for like, depending on when you classify that.
Right.
I classify it like 85 to like 91.
Mm-hmm.
So he was in that era. And then he was in the era that's 92 to 96.
The new generation.
New generation. Sure. We'll call it the new generation. Then he transitioned and he was in the Attitude Era.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Ruthless Aggression, he was the American Badass because he felt like he was starting to get stale as the Dead Man.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes back pretty much after the Attitude Era, and then he's the Dead Man.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty incredible to stay relevant for that many years.
Yeah.
He thinks that if he didn't change to American Badass, that he would have been phased out. I don't know. I think he would have been over the whole time. Like with the Attitude Era, maybe.
I don't think he would have
not.
been phased out.
I don't think so either. But yeah, honestly, this Hall of Fame is it's not a great class for me personally, but the Undertaker is top notch.
He's a big reason for when we do our grades, for the grade that I give this class.
Okay.
When we get to it. All right. So the second person that was announced is Vader. Big Van Vader.
Yeah.
I'll take this one if you don't mind.
Okay.
Probably the most agile big man that's ever lived. How many 450-pound plus guys do you know can do a moonsault? Not that many.
Not that many.
This guy, I feel, is one of the few that if I was in a fight with someone and I'd get my butt beat, he's one of those that I know I'd get my butt beat because he was so stiff. And, you know, it's just we talk about Undertaker with the presentation. Vader with the presentation is amazing. Like if you watch WCW like 91 to 93, even the 94, it's like this guy's you can't beat him. You can't beat him clean. You know, if you're gonna beat him, you got to do something to beat him.
Yeah.
And then in Japan, he was almost like a god there.
Yeah.
And there's a famous story where he made his debut for New Japan and he beats Antonio Inoki in like under 5 minutes. And after he beats him, there's a riot in the building because he beat their hero. He beat Inoki.
Now, can I just give an opinion about that before you continue?
Mm-hmm.
That, for people that don't know, that would be like someone beating Hulk Hogan in like 87.
Yes.
In USA.
Yes.
In 5 minutes, which didn't happen. Inoki, and I want to say Inoki might have been more over than Hulk Hogan in Japan.
Oh God, yeah.
So that was something else. Vader going over there and winning.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just want to put that in people's minds that's the comparison that I would give Inoki in Japan to 87 Hogan.
Perfect.
Okay. Continue your statement. I wanted to get that off.
No, that was perfect. So, and then he has a famous match with Stan Hansen where his eye literally comes out. And he has to put it back in. Like,
what else are you gonna do with your eye?
It was a complete accident.
Hopefully.
No, it was.
Yeah.
They've gone on the record saying it was an accident. He had to take his mask off, and his eye is swelling so much that he's got to get it back in. And it's so disgusting, but it's legendary. And then, then WCW, him and Sting were made for each other. Oh my God. Those matches between the two of them are amazing to watch. And then Obviously, the WWF run, which was a little bit of a disappointment there, the way that he got booked, but
Well, to be honest, we could go through that 96 and I like what it was supposed to be, and I think it would have been pretty good.
mm-hmm.
This is like Shawn Michaels being Shawn Michaels in the mid 90s, like we've talked about many times. He was supposed to lose to Shawn at SummerSlam.
Right.
And then he was supposed to win the title
at Survivor Series.
Basically, Sid got his spot.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have been Vader beating Shawn at MSG and then losing to Shawn at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, the Rumble. Yeah.
And then I've when I was doing some research on Vader, there was some talk. No, everybody says it was supposed to be Shawn and Brett at 13.
Right.
But a lot of that's what the fans say. A lot of the like WWE guys say that was not a set plan. They wanted Austin and Brett, and there's a chance that it might have been the Undertaker versus Vader for the title at 13, which would have been kind of interesting because they both go in the Hall of Fame the same year.
Yeah, they do.
So that one match where he kind of screwed up on a couple spots in 96
changes everything.
It changed his whole WWE run. And people that know me, that listen to the show, they know I'm more of a WWE fan than WCW.
Right.
So I didn't know a whole lot about Vader. I went back and I've watched some of his matches in WCW. And you were completely right. Him and Sting, magic.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's going into the Hall of Fame based on those credentials and his New Japan stuff. The WWE stuff or WWF. He had some good spots, but
he did.
Yeah, that whole thing in '96 kind of screwed up his run there. But still Hall of Famer, and it's too bad. I don't know if this is official yet, but I did hear Mick Foley is inducting him.
I did see that just a couple minutes ago, so it is.
So
Mick. That's a good pick.
Isn't that who you picked?
I believe, I believe so. Yeah. Although I kind of had like a backup plan in case they didn't announce anyone.
I said Cornette because I was hoping to get a little Jim Cornette, but
I'm just gonna mention it real quick. What if it was the cast of Boy Meets World? Because he was on there twice. They liked him a lot.
And Savage. The whole cast.
Yeah, you could have had Corey and Topanga induct him in. That would have been awesome. And Topanga is a wrestling fan, so.
Cool. See that's funny when we have to refer to her as Topanga because nobody knows her real name.
It's Danielle Fisher
or something,
yeah.
Right? Yep.
So if she's ever watching, we would love to have you on.
Yes. We would like to know how Leon was on set.
Yes, absolutely.
Did he wash his gear? I heard that he didn't wash his gear very often, and that's why a lot of wrestlers didn't like working with him. I guess that was part of the whole Shawn not wanting to work with him. Is I guess he like didn't wash his outfit that he wore. Mm-hmm. So he just like shoved it in his bag and then put it back on. Like, oh my god,
what can I say? All right. Now
we get to the DJ rant.
Maybe the most controversial pick of the last 10 years, maybe of all time. We don't know. Queen Sharmell.
What kind of shit is this? I'm sorry if there's kids watching, but I'm gonna swear.
I think this is gonna get our first explicit on the podcast today.
Well, you dropped 2 F-bombs already, so I think I'm good to go.
No, yeah, you're good.
I was looking at Wikipedia because you told me there was a third person. I didn't hear who it was.
Right.
And I'm looking at my screen. I'm like, okay, Undertaker, and I have to scroll down a little bit. Oh, Vader. Okay, I know about those two. And then I'm like, who the? Because it didn't have names.
Right.
They're just pictures, and it's saying inducted by. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So I put on the Facebook page. I'm like, okay, so Sharmell's in the Hall of Fame and China isn't. Okay.
Well, can I just say something real quick? China is actually in. She was part of that DX group that got inducted a few years ago.
China was not part of that, and I will
Okay.
battle you because
Okay.
Triple H went on and made a point about it because he said he does not want a Hall of Famer, someone to Google a Hall of Famer, and then She-Hulk comes up. That was the main reason. If you actually look on the Hall of Fame page, it says DX and it says the members. It's Billy Gunn, Road Dogg, X-Pac, Triple H, Shawn Michaels.
Sean Waltman, he did something. Anyway, go ahead.
I know Sean Waltman was in the video, so it doesn't make sense.
Go ahead.
Okay, so China should be in the Hall of Fame. Owen Hart should be in the Hall of Fame. We know why Owen Hart's not in. He's never going to be in because his wife won't let him in. And she has a really good point about
She does.
The Hall of Fame is not a place. She's like, I don't want the WWE to make money doing a Hall of Fame where they talk about Owen and they make money because of it, and it's not even a real place. That's kind of what her stance is. And if you want to honor him, donate to the Owen Hart Foundation. I totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
Now, China should be in the Hall of Fame based on her contributions to the wrestling business, in my opinion. You're going to put Charmel in the Hall of Fame? What? Okay, she's a Nitro girl. Okay, great job. You danced around on Nitro during commercial break. We're very impressed. Okay? Is she going to the Hall of Fame because she's Booker T's wife? What did she do in the wrestling business? Did she wrestle? No. She was a manager. Let's talk about the managers that are in the Hall of Fame. They're all worthy. Charmel is not worthy of the Hall of Fame, and I'm so upset about this. It's ridiculous. Please tell me your thoughts.
Okay. I kind of, when I first talked about it on my other podcast, I was kind of tiptoeing around because I wanted to wait for this day to come. Mm-hmm. I'm sure she is a lovely person. I'm sure she's a nice person. I really do. The best run she ever had was when they did the whole King Booker Queen Charmel thing. Now I'll say this, and I want to see if you agree or disagree with me. If they did King Booker and Queen Charmel, I don't think I'd have a problem with this. Honestly.
I still will.
I mean, not as much. How about that? Not as much. It
brings the credibility of, like, the Hall of Fame should mean something.
It should. But
it's the same as the NFL. Everybody gets in eventually. I hate that. It should be top-notch performers that get it.
But you hit the nail on the head. Mm-hmm. What did she ever do? She was a Nitro girl, which you are right. And
so is Shawn Michaels' wife. Let's put her in the Hall of Fame.
I'm waiting for just
Becca Hickenbottom. She's next year. She's in.
I'm just waiting for all the Nitro girls to go in. But anyway,
might as well.
She did manage in WCW,
okay.
But it wasn't that long because it was basically towards the end.
Sure.
And she never really appeared on WWE until that whole angle with Kurt, where he's like, I'm going to make love to your wife like a beast. That whole
angle.
And that's not my Kurt Angle impression. I don't think I have one, but that, that's the first thing I think of is that whole angle. It's like, oh my God. And then
make love to your wife like a beast.
Yeah, remember that? You remember that?
He like grabs 2 things of milk and
stuff that couldn't be said.
Yeah.
And then once Booker becomes a heel, she's a heel.
Yeah.
She did have that one match at WrestleMania with the Boogeyman. That one match.
I missed that.
I mean, I would have put the boogeyman in, honestly. I love the
Sure.
boogeyman. And then
Why don't you put the hand that Mae Young gave birth to in the Hall of Fame?
I'm not quite ready for that yet.
She's got the hand's got the same credentials as Charmel, in my opinion.
Anyway, and then she and Booker go to TNA, and I have never seen this match, but she had a match with Jenna Maraska from Survivor, and people have said it is one of the worst wrestling matches of all time.
I believe you.
And I've never seen it. I've never seen it. And I will take their word for it.
Yeah.
Look, like I said, I'm sure. I'm sure she's a sweetheart of a lady. She always seemed nice to me, just from watching.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sorry. She's not Hall of Fame material. Like, there are a lot of people who for years were like, are you better than Coco Beware? Because if you're better than Coco Beware, you should be in the Hall of Fame. First off, I've watched some Coco Beware stuff like the last year or so because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
He's actually really damn good. He is.
I always liked him.
Yeah. Charmel is now the new standard for the Hall of Fame. Are you better than Charmel? If you're better than Charmel, you belong in the Hall of Fame for WWE. It's true. I hate to do it, but it's true.
Well, there must be a reason that she's going in. We probably won't find out what the reason is.
Right.
But
I'll say this. I think if our friend JC was here, he'd probably be like, well, this would be the same if for Harold Baines going into Baseball Hall of Fame. Are you better than Harold Baines? Because I have to hear that. I'm not all the time, but I have to hear it a lot. And Harold Baines played for the Orioles when I was a kid, so I'll defend Harold Baines. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Okay. Charmel is the Harold Baines of the
pretty much
Hall of Fame.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So I don't know, honestly. Like I've said my bit.
Yeah.
Is she going to go up there and do her speech and get booed out of the building?
No, because Booker's there.
Okay.
Booker's going to induct her. They're not going to boo her out. No.
Wrestling fans, right? They don't.
No,
if something's not the way they want it, they boo.
No, believe me, I know. Believe me, I've been around a lot of people in my life.
I honestly think that the crowd will boo. Now, they'll probably do something on TV where maybe they can dub it out or something.
Maybe.
But if me and you feel this way, we're not the only ones.
But if I was there, I would not boo her out. I would not.
I don't know. I don't like it.
Maybe the next night at WrestleMania or the night after, maybe. But other than that, no. I wouldn't.
This is why the Hall of Fame gets the scrutiny that it gets.
It does.
It's not real. There's no place. It's a way to acknowledge former wrestlers and give them their credit.
Right.
Which I like. It'd be nice if there was a Hall of Fame. Now, we talked about this before. That you could go visit. They put stuff up. Put it in Connecticut. You go there to visit the Hall of Fame. It'd be nice.
Yeah. See,
but then you have people like Charmel going in, and then it starts losing its credibility.
See, when they did that show last year on A&E, when they were, trying to find the missing pieces of wrestling, wrestlers and stuff.
Yeah.
That had me thinking, oh, maybe they are serious about doing an actual physical Hall of Fame. But I guess not. All right. Now that we're done with that, the next person is the recipient of the Warrior Award. And This is gonna be like, if they do like the whole presentation, this is going to be there won't be a dry eye in the house moment. Shad Gaspard.
Yeah. It's he if people that don't know, him and his son were swimming, right?
Mhm.
And they got caught, and he basically told the lifeguard to save his son, and then he didn't make it, and so he sacrificed himself so his son could live.
So his son could live.
I'm sure most fathers would do that. Like, I know I would.
Right.
But it's great that they're acknowledging him. And this was a few years ago. I was kind of surprised that they hadn't really talked about it that much. So it's nice that they're acknowledging him as the Warrior Award recipient this year.
I mean, when we heard that story, I would imagine the same feeling you had and everybody else had, which is just, it was just a sad story to hear. And then to hear of how heroic he was to basically say, save my son. Don't worry about me. Save my son. That's one of those things that is a last second life or death, literal life or death situation that you have to come up with a decision. And he put his son over himself. And there's nothing that you could really say about that except what an amazing thing he did. Now, I saw somebody the other day on Facebook make a suggestion to change the name of the Warrior Award to the Shad Gaspard Award.
Yeah.
Which
would be.
I have no problem with that. But maybe Dana Warrior might have a problem with that, but that's neither here nor there. But
yeah, like it all depends on what, like, the legacy of the Warrior Award. It's, I don't know. I think it's more like, I know it came to play the year after.
Yeah, he died.
The Ultimate Warrior passed away.
Right.
And it's something Dana Warrior was doing. And then the namesake of Warrior, it's kind of like everyone, Connor the Crusher was the Warrior Award. Like
the first one. Yeah,
he was the first one. He's a little wrestling fan. I remember that scene where he came in and he like clotheslined Triple H and hit down for 3, and he had the belt, and it was pretty cool. So yeah, I'd be all about changing the name.
Yeah.
I don't think what the Warrior Award is all about really has that much to do with the Ultimate Warrior, except for Dana kind of wanting his
name to live on. But
like, let's be honest, he wasn't the greatest person, Jim Hellwig.
Right.
But I don't want to talk bad about the guy.
No.
But yeah, now I don't think they have to change the name, but if they did, I wouldn't be outraged. Let's just say I'm kind of in the middle on that. Like, changing it to Shad would be cool too.
I mean, if you remember in Warrior's speech, he said there should be an award for people who work tirelessly backstage. And he referenced somebody, I don't remember his name, but he referenced somebody and was like, that's who an award should be named after. So
yeah, I have to go back and watch the speech and see who he was talking about.
Yeah. All right. And today it was announced. We had talked about the possible rumor. It is now confirmed. The Steiner Brothers are going into the Hall of Fame.
I am shocked. Okay, so I have a question for you. If you're going to the Hall of Fame, you need permission, right? Like, WWE has to get permission, obviously.
Yes.
Because I don't know if you've read the comments from Scott Steiner about.
Oh no, I've read them. I've heard them.
So is he going to show up, or is this just going to be Rick?
I think he will show up because, and this is my theory.
They're going in as a team.
Yeah, they're going in as a team. Yeah.
So it's not Scott and Rick Steiner, Hall of Famer. It's the Steiner Brothers.
Right. It's the Steiner Brothers.
Okay.
I really believe this because of Rick's son, Brantley, doing so well in NXT.
Yeah.
That maybe there was some kind of communication where it's like, hey, Rick, your son's doing really good. What about you and your brother going in? And I don't think Rick had a problem. It's Scott, because Scott is, still to this day bitter and upset about what happened in his WWE run, which I, understand where he's coming from.
Yep.
And he makes valid points about the Hall of Fame, but you're talking about maybe the greatest tag team WCW ever had in the Steiners. I mean,
Steiners and Harlem Heat would be 1 and 2 for me.
Right, exactly. Those are it. Yep. And I mean, and also in a way, they both were successful as singles wrestlers. Rick was successful before the team.
Yeah.
And Scott became successful after the team.
Yeah, Scott went on to become like pretty good singles attraction.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't remember. Like if you didn't see them wrestle as a tag team, you'd think Scott was the bigger star.
Right.
Rick was pretty incredible.
He was.
I'm actually excited for his son. Like I'm hoping his son. Is he still the NXT champion? Because I'm hoping that he will be coming up soon.
He's not the champion, but he is challenging for it this week.
He is challenging for it. Okay.
Yeah.
I was really surprised that he wasn't like part of the Royal Rumble or anything. But we talked about the Royal Rumble a few episodes ago and how bad it was.
Yeah. But, no, I mean, like I said, well, we both said it. Harlem Heat and the Steiners are the two greatest tag teams WCW ever had.
Yeah.
And now that you have the Steiners there, an honest to good, legit tag team that was over. Oh my Lord.
And Harlem Heat's in, aren't they?
Yeah, Harlem Heat is in.
So Booker T's a 2-time Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
So if you would have put him in with Sharmell as the team, like you said, the 3-time Hall of Famer, like it's getting a little ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. But no, I like the induction of this or the pick of the Steiner brothers.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously it's going to be, what's Scott going to say? That's the big talk, but I really don't care. It's their moment. It's their night. Let them say whatever they want to say as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that'll be something.
Yeah. All right.
No, he's got some bitter feelings towards certain people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So now that we have gone, actually, real quick, just to give everyone a brief note on who's inducting who, because I think we kind of know, but I'm just going to go through it anyway.
Yep.
Vince McMahon is inducting The Undertaker.
Mm-hmm.
Mick Foley is inducting Vader. Booker T obviously is inducting Sharmell. Dana Warrior will be doing the Warrior Award. Mm-hmm. And as of this moment, we don't know who's inducting the Steiners, but if I had to guess, it's going to be Braun. That's my guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking, who do you think their number one rival as a tag team was?
Oh Lord!
You remember when Dudley Boys went in? Didn't Edge and was it Edge and Christian that brought him in, or was it the Hardy Boys?
Let me look that up real quick.
It's usually a big rival. With Vader, Mick Foley is a good choice. Yeah. It probably would have been Sting if he was an AEW wrestler.
Okay, it was Edge and Christian that inducted.
Okay, I knew it was either Hardy Boys or Edge and Christian.
Yeah.
So I was just curious, who do you think the biggest rival over the years
of the Steiners
was? And it's awful to say, but like, are they still with us? Do they work for a different company? That's one way to figure out who might be who would be inducting them.
Okay. One thought was, if he was still around and healthy, you could do Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. You could still do Kevin Nash. That's no problem.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think back, like maybe the Nasty Boys, because they had a feud at one point.
That'd be sick.
Maybe just to throw everybody off, Money Inc., Ted DiBiase and IRS. You could do that.
That would be sweet too.
You can't do the Road Warriors, unfortunately, although that would have been pretty cool.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're both not with us anymore.
God, I don't know. That it's tough. That's tough to pick.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll find out later this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. All right. Now,
I was kind of surprised that they didn't do a group this year. I have a question for you. Is the Nation of Domination in the Hall of Fame?
No, they're not.
See, I was thinking that would have been a good group to induct. But then you have to get The Rock to come back, and then he's going in a faction.
Yeah.
Maybe you bring back the original Nation. Crush isn't with us anymore. Savio Vega.
Savio's alive, though.
Yeah, Savio's alive. Or you could have like D'Lo Brown, Mark Henry,
Godfather.
Farouk and Godfather.
That's a good that's the best version right there.
I like that version the best. So I was surprised that because when we first started talking about this, we thought it was just going to be a one-man show.
I was kind of hoping it would be.
Then Vader was announced, and then there was rumors of Sid, and I was like, that's interesting because Sid took Vader's spot. That might be something to talk about. But then that was just a rumor.
We still have 4 days between now and Friday night.
Yeah, I think they would have announced it by now.
Yeah.
Maybe we can go on Twitter and start a hashtag. No Charmels allowed or something.
Oh, that people are gonna think we're racist.
I'm not racist.
I'm not racist either.
I just said that I want the Nation of Domination in. I'm not
true.
racist.
That's true. Okay.
I'm not saying let's remove her because she's black. Let's remove her because she sucks. I don't care what color she is.
She does.
Okay.
Let's be honest.
That has nothing to do with why I'm saying she doesn't deserve to be in it. It has nothing to do with that.
Okay.
And you know that.
I know that.
You're just trying to get me fired up again, and it's working. Yay. I love it.
All right.
That's why the video is great, because I see your reactions, and then you see mine, and then and people can see our attractiveness too.
I know. Okay, so now that we've gone through the class, because again, people could be added between now and Friday night. We don't know. What grade are you giving this year's class as a whole?
Okay, so I'm gonna go. I'll give you my grade for each guy.
Okay.
And then it's kind of like a final grade.
Okay.
You're a teacher. You know how it works.
Yes, I do.
Undertaker, A+.
Yeah.
Extra credit, 100%.
Extra credit.
You get extra credit.
Because you're the Undertaker.
You're the Undertaker. Vader, I will give an A- to with his WCW and New Japan.
Okay.
It probably would have been an A+ if his WWE would have worked out better.
Right.
He's a very good second-tier guy for a Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
The Steiner Brothers, I like that. It was surprising because I didn't see it coming with all the Scott Steiner hate. I really like Rick Steiner. I'm gonna give that a B-.
Okay.
And Charmel.
Here we go.
Okay, this is where we get out the red marker.
Oh God, here we go.
Just a big F. And then it says, ridiculous. This does not reflect your best work. Okay. So I guess what we can figure this out. It's a plus, an A minus, a B minus, and an F. So let's give it a B.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Better.
I agree with you with Undertaker. That is an A plus, 100% A plus. And you know what? I'll throw in the extra credit as well. Vader is an A minus, like you said.
Same as me.
Steiners, I'm going to be a little bit more generous. I'm going to give them a B. I'm going to give them a B.
Okay.
Really good tag team.
Yeah.
But again, it comes to Sharmell. It really does.
She's bringing the grade down. Come on, Vince, figure your shit out.
I will say this. If Sharmell was not in this class this year, I would be saying to you, DK, and I'd be saying to everybody watching this, that this would be one of the greatest classes of all time. But since she is in there, it is an F. I don't like to be mean, but it's true. It's an F.
Does not reflect your best work.
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
So, and I was thinking about it. What grade do I give this class? Because the majority of it is strong. It is very strong.
Yeah.
And in this case, the good outweighs the bad. So I'm going to give this an A minus.
Okay.
But between Vader, Taker, and the Steiners, those three alone make it an A minus class. If Sharmell had not been, if Sharmell was not picked, I could be saying an A or an A plus.
Yeah, the only reason I knocked my Steiner grade down was for the attitude towards Hall of Fame based on what Scott has said. Now, this was like years ago. Maybe he's mellowed out. Maybe in retirement. Maybe he's going to be fine with it.
Yeah,
and then the grade would be slightly higher. Like, if we're just talking based on what they did in the wrestling ring, it would be an A plus. It's just the different aspects of it that change my grade.
I think what we'll do to be safe is when we come back next week, and if they add anybody else, we can change the grade. Like if we want to make it higher, we could change it.
Yeah.
If it goes lower, we could change it.
Sure.
But I think it's safe to say from both ends, pretty positive class this year.
Yeah. And with the four different people going in, I wouldn't be surprised if they announce somebody else. And are they ever going to have a referee? There's some good choices. I think Earl Hebner should be the first one. And I think they should put him in. Maybe. What do you think about that? It's just something I was thinking about the other day. Like, I was watching every old wrestling match main event that I ever watched in between like 93 and 99. Like, Earl Hebner's there.
Yeah, but the way that he and the relationship with WWE ended made me think he might never get in.
Yeah.
But, I mean, look at some of the people that have been inducted over years.
Sharmell's in, so.
Well, that's true. But, I mean, like, who would have thought Bret Hart would have been inducted? Whoever thought the Warrior would be inducted?
Things get repaired.
Yeah, who thought Bruno Sammartino would get inducted? Superstar Billy Graham. We could go on and on about this. And it's like, well,
and
might have a point.
It's funny that you brought up those three guys, and we talked about Triple H earlier. Triple H ended those relationships for Vince McMahon and those
Pretty
guys.
much, yeah.
Like Bruno Sammartino wasn't returning calls from Vince
Ever.
Triple H reached out to him. Triple H reached out to the Warrior. They had the history at WrestleMania 12.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have to do that. He did it because he knew it was right.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the other person that you mentioned, but
Billy Graham. Billy Graham.
Billy Graham. I don't know if Triple H was the one that reached out to him or not. But
Maybe. I don't know.
it was around that time where, yeah. And you're talking about these wrestlers are in the Hall of Fame and Sharmel's in. So, I don't know, man. I don't want to go on another rant about Sharmel, but
okay.
it's just ridiculous.
All right. Now, you know what? We're going to end this on a good note.
Okay.
Because I'm sure people have heard that there are many options as far as locations go for watching WrestleMania this year. Obviously, Peacock, WWE Network. They announced a couple weeks ago you could go to movie theaters to watch WrestleMania this year. Dude,
that's cool. They used to do that.
Old school closed circuit. Yeah.
Yeah, we used to go do that. Well,
they announced today that you can watch WrestleMania at Dave and Buster's.
Cool.
I'll just read the first paragraph because I don't really want to read this long press release. But anyway, it says, Dave and Buster's is a staple of fun and entertainment in the United States, and that matches the energy of WWE premium live events. I refuse to call it that, such as WrestleMania, said Emilio Ravello, vice president of WWE. We are excited about this year-round partnership and meeting new and existing fans at a place they truly enjoy. So I got to ask you, have you ever been to a Dave & Buster's?
I have not, but I do understand like what kind of place it is. I don't think we have them in Canada, so that's why I wouldn't have been to it.
I think you'd like it. I honestly think you'd like it.
It's sort of like a arcade style place, right?
For adults, yeah.
For adults.
And
yeah, we have stuff like that. It's just
and okay, now this other one passed as well. One of the great traditions of WrestleMania is the performance of America the Beautiful. They have announced who will be performing it this year.
Is it Sharmel?
I've never heard her sing, actually.
How about Terry Funk?
Oh.
Remember we had that little rant on Terry Funk he was singing?
He did have that song about Barbra Streisand's nose.
Yeah, that's what it was.
All right. So anyway, it was announced today that platinum album selling artist Brantley Gilbert and chart-topping singer and songwriter Jesse James Decker will perform America the Beautiful for both nights of WrestleMania. Brantley Gilbert will perform Saturday. Jesse James Decker will perform Sunday.
Okay.
They are country music artists. Gilbert is a 2-time platinum album selling artist who released his latest single, Rolex on a Redneck. That is a real song. Oh my God.
I'm worried that this guy's going to be in the Hall of Fame next year.
With multi-platinum and Grammy-nominated artist Jason Aldean on March 25th. Oh, so this was just released.
Cool.
The American country rock artist has toured with the likes of Willie Nelson, Kid Rock, Kenny Chesney, Tim McGraw, and more.
Okay.
Decker is and I'm reading this because I have no idea who these people are. Decker is a celebrated singer and songwriter, TV personality, fashion designer, beauty and lifestyle influencer, entrepreneur, and 2-time New York Times bestselling author. She has emerged as a multi-platform juggernaut, juggling fashion brands like her personally designed Kitten-ish line, along with her television hosting duties. The singer's authentic style captivated listeners everywhere on her self-titled debut and 2017's Southern Girl City Lights, which debuted at #1 on Billboard's Top Country Albums chart. Now signed to Warner Music Nashville and with more than 150 million streams under her belt, Decker has begun a new musical chapter of growth and empowerment with her latest project, The Woman I've Become.
Okay. I don't know, like what to say about all that.
I want to hear Rolex on a Redneck now.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go on Spotify, free plug Spotify, and download that.
Yeah,
And,
I might look it up on YouTube later.
Maybe we should ask them if we can use it as a song on our show.
Oh my God, I've never had
on a Redneck.
I've never had a Rolex. Never had one.
I can't even afford the fake one. like $60? I don't think so.
Yeah, really.
Gives you a green mark on your wrist, but no.
Yeah,
you're rich for my blood.
Exactly.
I heard something about The Weeknd is going to perform too. Do you know anything about that?
Let me check that. I'm sure they got somebody to do like their halftime.
Yeah, like, it's like an intermission, but not really. And he comes out and sings maybe a song on night one, and maybe on night two he sings another one.
Let's see. DJ Valentino Khan will have musical performances on both nights.
Okay.
Never heard of him.
Nope.
No,
that might have just been a rumor page that I read it on.
No, I don't see anything about The Weeknd. So
okay. Yeah, I think someone just tweeted it out, and I thought I read it. Maybe they didn't know what they were talking about.
Right. Oh well.
Could you imagine?
Oh man. I know he had the theme song last year.
Was it last year?
Yeah.
Maybe I was reading a page and it was just WrestleMania and it wasn't an updated one. Maybe it's from last year.
Let me see. Let me look this up real quick.
I don't remember The Weeknd last year. But I don't remember a lot from WrestleMania last year either.
Yeah, I know. We try to forget that one. I mean, there's a couple good things about it, but we're trying to work on that. Okay. I want to do a couple of quick plugs because this is the biggest week of the year for wrestling in general. I am a guest on a couple of shows this week.
Cool.
This Wednesday, I am a guest on Trip Up Trivia, which is a wrestling trivia game show on podcasts.
Nice.
So check that out. It is Trip Up Trivia. Trip Up, pretty easy to spell, trivia. And
is it on YouTube or?
It's going to be on different podcasting places. So if you look it up, I'm pretty sure it's going to be there.
Okay, so it's not like a live.
This was pre-recorded.
Okay,
this was pre-recorded. You guys will get to see or get to hear if I have good or bad memories on wrestling stuff. So I'll say it was a lot of fun to do. So
you've already recorded it.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not going to spoil how it ends. So, but you guys will enjoy it. Believe me, you will enjoy it.
I will check that out.
And then this Friday night, this is the one I'm looking forward to the most. This Friday night is Ring of Honor's Super Card of Honor. And I will be doing alternate audio commentary for the show with Mark, who was the one who invited me. Let me get the name right. Darn computer kind of messing me up right now, but it's okay. Mark Radulich and we are going to do a live stream alternative commentary of Super Card of Honor.
Cool.
And I'm gonna guess it's gonna be on Facebook. That's my guess. And that is this Friday night at 8 o'clock. So you guys have the option of either watching Supercard of Honor and listening to me do commentary, or wait 2.5 hours for the WWE Hall of Fame. Totally up to you guys. So just wanted to plug those real quick. It is a very busy week for WrestleMania week.
A busy month, my friend.
Yeah, it has been. This has been fun.
But it's been fun.
I think this is going to become an annual tradition. But next week, we're going to talk everything post WrestleMania, everything that happened.
Yeah.
We'll probably talk about the Hall of Fame, any news that comes out of WrestleMania weekend. This is it. This is what we've worked. This is what we've trained for all year, people.
Yeah, we'll get back to the regular.
We will in a couple of weeks.
The week after, but next week we'll recap everything. I think we'll probably treat it similar to our review shows that we've done.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll give it a grade. We'll go through the matches. Yeah, and it'll be a decent show for sure.
It will.
Criticizing or praising what we watch on Saturday and Sunday. Mm-hmm. I'm just hoping that it's a good show. You got about probably 9 hours of wrestling to watch in the next weekend, so should be good.
I know I have plans for Saturday as far as food goes. I've already made that decision up, so I will be ready for the first night food wise. Second night will probably be a cooked meal, so I'll be ready.
I don't know how we're gonna do it. If we're gonna have some people over and do a spread like similar to an NFL Super Bowl type thing, or sometimes we just order pizza and we'll figure it out. It's gonna be exciting.
Actually, I think I'll put that up on our Facebook group. Just ask in general what your traditions are, if you have any. Some people don't have traditions, some do, and
we usually do like wings and nachos.
I know,
big spread. It's pretty good, so we'll see.
Yeah,
but now it's 2 nights, so Sunday might be we got to eat healthy.
Save
Sunday
the pizza.
night. Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, quick plug, join the Facebook group, DK and Bill Wrestling Podcast. The link is in the description if you're watching this on YouTube, and the link is in the description if you're listening to this on any podcasting platform. So with that said, thank you all for tuning in to this week's show, today's episode, I should say, because we've done two in a week. This week. And come back. If you have a hangover from WrestleMania, join us, because we're going to talk about it one more time next week, right here on the DK and Bill Wrestling Podcast.